Can you hear me now? Looks like we got some conversation going on already. Love it. Love it. Eric, you're cleaning as you watch. Perfect. Love hearing that. Let me know if everybody can hear me. We're just getting everything set up. Woo! There's Denise. Denise from Denver. Oh, hold on.
Everyone, all the attendees are auto-muted.
Yeah. Can you guys all hear me? I know I can see you, Nancy. I see you checking in from Kenya. Okay, good. I want to know, where's everyone in from? Because we've got so many people. This is fantastic. 23 people. 23 of my closest people. This is great. Okay, this is great. Virginia. What's up, Jessica? James is here from Indiana. Ooh. James, did you know that Straight No Chaser's from Indiana? You probably do. Eric's from the CLE. I know that's where he lives. New Hampshire. Hey, Emma. Brian, Brian Metzger, you would love to see the technical setup I've got up over here. A microphone. Tim, my IT coordinator, is doing a phenomenal job. Believe it or not, there was just a couple of things that I waited till the last minute to do. So we're starting pretty much on time. I mean, I personally think this is pretty impressive. What's up, David? The lead rhino himself. So this is so great. I'm so glad everybody's here. This is our maiden voyage. How exciting. I just want to thank everyone for all the support. My phone, which was very hard to ignore, was absolutely blowing up right before this with everybody saying, good luck. Hey, thinking of you, sending good vibes your way. I couldn't have done this without you, just honestly. I want to get us to the first slide. Can everyone see this congratulations slide?
No, we can get it up.
Oh, okay. Let's get that going. On time is early, David says. That's so funny. So, Brian, I don't know who's farther away. I think Nancy wins right now from farthest away. Nancy's checking in from Kenya. Is anyone else from farther away than Kenya? And I guess farther away from where? I would say farther away from Cleveland, which is where I'm at. It looks like. All right, can you all see? Congratulations. Okay, cool. So I look maybe a little bit more clean cut than usual. Many of you may know me from my TikTok videos, but I feel like I clean up pretty nicely, right? Let's see. I'm going to see if you guys can see me just a little bit better. Here we go. There we go. Well, the reason I'm saying congratulations is you did it. We did it. We're here. Be proud of yourself, because if you are watching this right now, that means that you are taking an active role in making change in your life. That's why this whole webinar series has been created, is from all of you wanting more out of life. That's what I do in my coaching, is to help others believe in themselves more. And you all have seen it from the sign off in my signature from one of my very first coaching clients, Sean Ramias. My two first ones always debate like who was the first, but Sean said, I believe in you, when I was just starting this business, and it's almost 1 year exactly. And I have carried that notion forward to all of you because I believe in all of you. And that's why you're here. So there's more that I want to show. Let's get to it. First things first. Total, unconditional acceptance. Let's take a few breaths together, shall we? Let's do 3 deep breaths, because I know for anyone who's ever prepared for a meeting, a presentation, you're turning in a paper at the last minute, there's a lot of stress that goes into it, right? So I've been feeling that in a big way the last couple of days. So what I would ask is right now, if you can join me, let's just do 3 deep breaths. In through the nose, out through the mouth. In through the nose, out through the mouth. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Okay. And I put on their total unconditional acceptance because everything that didn't happen before the event that maybe I wanted to, that's okay. And what I'm here to do is just be authentic. I am authentically being myself and telling all of you that you should be doing the same. I want to inspire and model for you to do that. And that's why we are all working towards total unconditional acceptance. One of the things I'm looking forward to the most from this event and from the ones that will follow is to have a lot of you connect with each other. Because let's be honest, total unconditional acceptance is very challenging. Many of us instead are feeling this way. Shout out to Jessica for, you'll see some of the slides and the quotes we have on here. She put these together for me very last minute, which was perfect. But I love, you probably heard this one before, the definition of insanity. Doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. And I know that I am not alone in saying that that's what I know I struggle with, and many of you have told me that you struggle with as well. That's why we're here today, though. As the priest said at my wedding with Andrea, he said, "It is good that we are here." This is the other reason why we're here. A lot of our brains are very similar. And let's talk about why does this actually seem to always happen to us? We're here for accountability. So why is it that we need this accountability? Well, for those of you out there, which I know is most of you, have ADHD like I do. Can I just get someone just indicate, say, me or I have ADHD in the comments if that is you? And I like that Eric Mayer puts in, he's brother of the host. Thanks for being here, Eric. I'm so appreciative for all of you being here. Look at that. This is great. So you may know the conductor inside of our brains, known as the executive function system, it's negatively impacted just a little bit by our brain wiring, ADHD. The reason why we practice this avoidance behavior is because we don't always know how it's going to turn out. And we might not know exactly what the next step is, or even the first step. I always use the example of taxes. I cower in front of taxes because it's so overwhelming that I just don't know, okay, where do we even start? Okay, we're supposed to do our taxes. You don't just flip a switch and do your taxes. So in our brains, those of us with ADHD, when we have big projects, like putting together a webinar series, for example, there's so many little steps that need to happen that it's very hard for us to wrap our heads around. But the whole reason why I'm so excited that I am here and why we are here is because we're going to be taking action to help each other to figure out what are those steps. Because it's so hard for us with ADHD to do it on our own. We need those people around us who can help us to verbalize what we need to do. And it's not that we won't do it. It's that sometimes we literally physically can't do it. So make sure throughout this whole time, I know a lot of this content's going to resonate with you. Just make sure you're going easy on yourself. So we had that first Einstein quote, and I wanted to follow up with this one because I think it's so perfect and so fitting for us. All of you are truly geniuses. You're so talented, but it might be misapplied. Your talents might just be misapplied right now. As many of you know, I have been fired from 2 jobs because of my ADHD. Well, because of not being able to meet the job requirements, but that in essence was a result of my ADHD. The hardest part about that was I wasn't realizing the brilliance of this quote that's in front of you right now. And if some of you may be driving, or you're, I know Eric, Citizen Prayer, as he's known on TikTok, he might be still cleaning, but I'll read it out loud. Everybody is a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing that it's stupid. And the times when I have been in the darkest state of mental wellness are when I was not being judged by my true ability. I was being judged on things that I know I don't do well. So what I'm hoping that this webinar series can do is help you, my fellow fishes out there, to find the lake that you really want to be swimming in. So with that, I want to give you the official welcome. And I do consider this to be really a family reunion, but it's interesting because unlike most family reunions, you all haven't met yet. It's not just like seeing that random cousin you only see every 7 years or so. This is, as I've gone through this journey of being an ADHD coach over the last year or so, if I lined up all of the people that I've spoken with and all the struggles that we face, if you just saw the list of problems that they go through, they've all been so similar. It's just remarkable. So that's why I say this is a family reunion. And today, our goal truly is to help you to reimagine accountability. Because many of us think of it in a certain way, and we're going to get into that. So we'll learn. So there's learning time, connecting time, where unlike TikTok, you will actually have a chance to be talking. It's not just going to be it's not going to be the Ryan show today. You're going to get to make progress on a goal. So I know, again, to reference Eric Wright, he is already cleaning. But if there's something else that all of you want to be making progress on, I'm hoping you saw the email I sent out about a half hour before the event, 45 half-hour minutes before the event started, about bringing something with you to make progress on. That's going to be the interactive portion of our event. Then we'll have some discussion, Q&A. We may throw in some dancing, and then hopefully you stay till the end for the giveaway, the raffle, and also, of course, the after party. I believe that most of you already know me, but for today's presentation about winning with accountability, I'm going to be your MC and host, ADHD coach Ryan Mayer. And I put in there, especially for this presentation, that not only am I a certified ADHD life coach, but I truly tend to be an accountability partner for my clients. So many of you who have ADHD, you're probably familiar with the work of Dr. Ed Hollowell. And in his book, Driven to Distraction, which was sort of a landmark book for the world of ADHD and the understanding of it, he said that when it comes to procrastination, he said, avoiding something doesn't get it done. Doing it is the thing that gets it done. So that's why today we're going to focus on how we can find some steps to do that. So this is a picture of my son, Ethan, and my parents gave him this book for his 4th birthday over the summer here. But it's just to really to capture the essence of the imagination of a child. And today what I want us to keep in mind is to be able to reimagine accountability. So let's use that imagination, because we truly are so creative. That's one of the things that is sort of a trademark of the ADHD personality, is that creativeness. And by the way, speaking of creative, isn't it interesting? Like, I've never seen a book like that until my parents gave it to them. It's kind of cool. Every page you hold it up, you can become a different character. So what's in it for you today? Well, let's talk about it. For today, you're going to learn more about how to stop procrastinating, how to get more done, and then to build credibility. Now, let's talk a little bit about credibility. You're probably familiar with the idea of the imposter syndrome. Well, as you can imagine, in preparation for this webinar, I had negative self-talk and imposter syndrome banging on the front door, and actually like kicking in the windows and just coming at me from all angles, saying, you're not going to do this webinar. Like, no one's going to get anything out of this. But this is how we can overcome this imposter syndrome. Self-esteem, it can be so low for us. But as we've talked about so many times before, if you followed my content, we live in a world that really doesn't understand us. So we get this label. We've been labeled as less than. And at home, there's so much shame, isn't there? Other members of your family, whether it's your parents or your siblings or your wife or your kids, having to pick up the slack for you. And that only makes it worse on us, because we know where we feel like we're falling short. Others might get fed up with us, and it leaves us feeling guilty and frustrated. But the things you're going to learn today are how to become a better team player, how to advocate for yourself. And at work, we're going to build credibility so you can get more things done at work, so that you don't let the performance evaluations and what others think of you have as big of an effect on your mindset. Because the more that we can achieve, honestly, the more we're going to feel confident in ourselves and what we can accomplish, which will then lend itself to that credibility. Because everything starts internally. And we feel a lot stronger. And I got to give a huge shout out to Courtney Carini, ADHD, who many of you know. She helped me big time with the presentation. And she helped me to get a lot of personal and very funny images into this. So thanks again to Courtney for that. So let's talk agenda a little bit. We're going to, as we talked about, rethink accountability. I'm going to give some examples of how I've used it in my life and how it's worked really well. But then also how you can use it. And then a group activity too, which is going to be the best part. And then, like I mentioned earlier, a raffle too. So when you think of accountability, what does that mean for you? And Tim, is this the place where are we able, if somebody wanted to jump in?
Oh yeah.
All right. So I want to try to make this interactive. And, we have 37 of us here today. We had over 120 people registered. So I'm so excited for those of you who got to the finish line and made it here. There should be a feature down at the bottom. Check out. There is a little microphone. And if anyone wants to know or wants to express, like, what do you think of when you hear accountability? Like, what does that mean for you? If you don't want to grab the mic, as they say, okay, Courtney Carini says she'll talk. All right, we're giving this a whirl. Here we go. Get ready, Courtney. We're handing the
Am I on? Hello?
mic over to you. Here we go.
Oh.
So speaking of,
Do you see me?
Here she comes.
Can you hear me? Yes? Hi.
All right, try now, Courtney.
Are we good? Something just popped up.
Let's see. This is our first time, so if we have technical difficulties, like this is us just giving it a whirl. Okay. Oh, they said they can hear her.
Oh, okay. You're the only one.
All right, you're good. Go ahead, Courtney.
I was just thinking, instantly what popped into my head is an expletive, like, oh, darn it. Because I immediately think of my boss being like, so, and then me being like, no, of course I didn't. And that's what I think of accountability.
Thank you. Love it. Thank you for sharing. We're going to swing it over to David Wendkos, a.k.a. the lead rhino. And it's coming your way, David. Coming over the internets. One moment. It's probably because we've got such a great group of people here. It just takes a minute. When I tell you, okay, let's see. Oh, maybe, I don't know. Did David's request go?
Yeah, it looks like he said no.
Oh, okay. David said no. He doesn't want to. Okay.
Oh, there we go.
Here we go. Let's try again.
So if you can hear me, I'm trying to change the camera.
Here he comes. Uh-oh. David, all right, we hear you.
Okay, I don't know why. Camera's not playing nice with me.
That's okay.
So, accountability, I grew up in the sales world. Accountability was that opportunity for your manager to tell you why you suck.
It's so true.
What accountability should be? It should be somebody that believes you're capable of more than you think you are, who demands that you do what you say you're going to because they know that you're going to achieve more than you realize you could.
Love it. No, that's perfect. Thank you, David. And to sort of piggyback off of that, I heard that from a sports analogy. It's like a sports coach that they can see the potential in the players before the players can see the potential in themselves. So I really like that. All right, cool. All right, well, let's maybe an X out of that. And thank you both to Courtney and David for doing that. Let's see if we can move on. Okay, cool. So this is perfect. So as David and Courtney mentioned, so what do people usually think of when they think of accountability? They think of a negative consequence, results in a lack of action or a punishment or punitive measures. The next is the who. So this is typically comes from somebody who is in a position of authority. And lastly, when it comes in at the end. So it's like you must now be held accountable for what you did or didn't do. So now let's reframe it. So check this out. We don't need that angry looking boss person. Condescending. I don't know why glasses make me more condescending, but I was just trying to make it a little bit of a different character. So we zoom him away and let's find, there we go. Look at how friendly that accountability partner is. So there's me coaching, whether it's coaching myself and the inner child, or whether it's me actually coaching my own child. Let's reframe it. And then what is it? It's going to be an agreement at the beginning. So let's come together at the beginning to talk about why this is important. Who is it? It's going to be the whole team. It's not just going to be a top-down being commanded that this is what you need to do. And when will it take place? Like I said, we do that at the start so that we're all on the same page moving forward. So now, what is accountability? So some of this was from a book called Winning with Accountability, which is what kind of inspired this at the beginning, but making clear commitments that in the eyes of everyone have been kept. And this is where everybody's going to be on the same page. Let's get everyone in agreement. And yeah, being held responsible for the actions, but if everyone is on the same page from the get-go, that's a lot different than someone coming down on you at the end and saying, hey, you didn't do what you say you were going to do. And then this part, I think, is such a key change, is reliability to credibility. Because in the eyes of others, the simple act of having to relay our intentions to someone in a way that makes sense to them, that's going to make it clearer to us as well. So it's going to bring more accountability, again, on all those fronts we talked about. So to ourselves, keeping the promises we want to make to ourselves, at home, and that at home is more just like our personal lives. And then lastly, at work, professionally. So we've got great news and bad news. Let's go with the bad news first. And for those of you who are here, who are from my men's faith group in the morning, the Total Man Project, the TMP guys, you might know what's coming with this one. So, the bad news. That's why I look so much like in discomfort. And my brother Eric might recognize that shirt. He gave it to me as a gift. 9 days. Does anyone want to take TMP guys? You're not allowed to guess on this because you know the answer. Anyone know what does 9 days? What could that possibly represent? What guesses do we have? And you can just type them in. We don't need to do the mic on this one, but what do you think that 9 days could signify? Okay, David makes a great point. The day after Hanukkah, Jewish guy here. Okay, my sister of the host, Laura, so glad you're here. Great to see you. A full week with a 2-day buffer to stick to something to get a reward. Dorsey, love that. How long you stick to something. Aaron Taylor from Strata Advanced Manufacturing, so glad you're here. Yep, I know it's not since you've done it on the calendar. That's right. So I'll tell you, let's see. Johnny, good to see you, Johnny, by the way. How long it takes to build a new habit? These are all such great guesses. So the answer is 9 days, according to a study that was done, is how long people will keep their New Year's resolutions. So it's like, how accountable are we staying to the promises that we make to ourselves and everyone else? Typically, it's 9 days. Like, yeah, I'm going to start using this new planner, or I'm going to do that new workout routine. 9 days. But that's okay. There's great news. The great news is that today I'm going to be equipping you with a weapon to fight against procrastination. Would anyone like to guess what that weapon is? You got it. Angelica got it right. Accountability is that weapon. Because it is truly the Swiss Army knife. Look at all those uses. You can open bottles, you can clip your nails, you can trim tiny little things. I always wonder that, like, besides trimming threads, like, what else do you need those tiny, tiny scissors for? I don't know. But anyway, it's truly the Swiss Army knife. So my very good friend, Ben Rivet, he and his wife, Tori, they had a on-the-road yoga show called Go With The Flow. And so I purposely wore the shirt that said Go With The Flow because the benefits of accountability are many, but the ones that I chose to feature here are the ones that when I click on it, it will show up eventually. Here we go. You get to reduce your anxiety, increase your focus, and you're going to know yourself. I was just talking with one of my clients who's in France, actually. He lives in France, and we were talking about knowing the reality. So those of us with ADHD, we have this overflowing fountain of optimism, right? That we're like, yeah, there's plenty of time to get this done. But having that accountability partner where you actually have to figure out what needs to happen to get to the goal line, that's going to help you to know yourself better, know what's realistic. So that's where accountability partners come in. And those of you who know me, which is pretty much all of you, you know one of my favorite lines is that teamwork makes the dream work. So you can see here, I mean, there's really no strong. We just watched the movie Trolls with our kids recently, and I think it was Trolls 2 World Tour, and said, "Whoa, they just did a pinky promise," and there was like they had like this atomic explosion. It was like, wow, pinky promise, that must be pretty serious. But that's really what accountability partners is. There is this power to it, which we're going to get into. Caitlin, I am totally on board with you. Like, there are some seriously good songs on both Trolls 1 and Trolls 2. Hair Up. Google that later. Not now, but later. Google Hair Up. It's a really good song. And some of you may know that September 21st is my wedding anniversary. So in the credits of Trolls 2, they have the song September by Earth, Wind, and Fire. So that song itself is fire. Speaking of my wedding, here's my beautiful wife and our two beautiful kids, Ethan and Lila. And so the reason why I have these pictures up here, the first is that I want to be present when my family is home. So my goal is to actually have accountability partners who check in with me, some of whom are on this call right now, to say, hey, are you finishing up your last tasks for the day? Because you probably all know, those of us with ADHD, we struggle when it comes to doing the transition. So the transition, whether it's from stopping work and going into family mode, or even in the morning starting work. And that's actually one of the things I help one of my clients with. He specifically came to me because he told me, Ryan, at the end of the day, I can't stop working. I want to be with my family. He's got a wife and 4 beautiful kids. So all he wants to do is be with them. But because of the way his brain is wired, he really struggles. He said, Ryan, I'm going to actually ask this question, sort of a little poll for everyone. He said his wife has to ask him to come down to dinner a certain number of times. I would love to hear, what is your guess for how many times he said, like, regularly, how many times does his wife have to ask him to come down to dinner? Okay, Dorsey says 9. She's probably still thinking of that New Year's thing. 4, 10, 4 times at least. Yep, Emma, that's good. Joe Aid says 10, 5, a million. Very funny, Michelle. Oh, Johnny, that's a great point. You said it depends on how hungry. So the correct answer is 30. 30 times. One morning, then send the kids with a squirt gun. Aaron, I love it. Dozens. Yeah, that's accurate. So basically said 30 times. And the reason is because, as Ed Hollowell, Dr. Ed Hollowell would say, we have these Ferrari engines for brains, but we have bicycle brakes. So it takes a while to get the engine revving and really going, but once we do, watch out. And it's just hard for us to slow down and transition. So the reason I bring that up is because I want to be there for my family. I want to be able to be done with work. And of course, I set a phone alarm at 5:05 p.m. They get home almost the same time every day, around 5:20 p.m. So 5:05 is supposed to be stop everything and go downstairs so that you can be ready for your family. How often does that happen? Well, I think you already know the answer, because you probably have lots of alarms on your phone that you ignore, right? And so I have now friends that will check in and say, hey, you heading downstairs? The other reason why I have the picture of me sleeping is because I actually have accountability partners to talk about getting to bed. Because when I start working with my ADHD clients, before we get to any tips and tricks or what is my brain wiring or how do I handle prioritization, one of the first things that we cover is, how's your sleep? And I know this will probably be another webinar all in itself, but just the value of sleep. So to keep myself accountable, instead of having my wife, Andrea, having to yell at me a bunch of times to get to bed, I actually have some of my clients and some of my friends will check in to say, hey, are you almost ready for bed? Because we want to help each other to do that. And then lastly, here's a picture of Rodeo Ryan. I appeared in one of my TikToks sporting a really solid mustache, drinking water, because that's the other thing. Many times we just forget. So those of you who follow me on TikTok, if you go to my live broadcast that I do each night, 7:45 Eastern, tune in. One of the women who's just been an amazing supporter, she can't be here today. Mari, who goes by Scott Sim, is her username. She always is checking in with me 2 or 3 times about every day. In addition to the goofy pictures she sends me or the funny ADHD memes, she will also send me a text that says, make sure you drink your water. So that's why these pictures are here to represent. You can use accountability for literally anything. That's why I called it the Swiss Army knife. It's a tool that can help you with almost any aspect of your life. Forgot I put that animation in there. Okay, so here we go. Eric Mayer, glad that you're on the call here, because I know this is one of your favorite quotes. Science! So this bridge made me think of a question. What is the difference between these two things? And this is one that I would love to, Tim, I'm going to see if we can get somebody in here. Mm-hmm. Feel free to grab the mic, anybody. I want to know, what do you see as the difference between current and future? And I know some of you may be on the go, but if you are stationary, would love to figure out, if you want a chance to jump in. When you think of what is the difference between current and future? Oh, Amber, you're here. Good. You got the email. Cool. This is a great, while I'm waiting for somebody to request the mic. A great example is I talked with Amber and her husband, Byron. We had just a fantastic conversation. And it's amazing how when you, oh, Brittany, I was hoping it'd be you. All right, we'll turn it over to Brittany, but I'll just finish up here.
No, I clicked the wrong one.
Oh, David, it's not supposed to be you. You already got to talk. It's all right. We're turning it over to Brittany. See if you can. Oh, maybe it'll both be out. But anyways, I was talking with Amber and her husband, Byron, and it was just one of those great examples of, and here she is on the webinar. So thanks again for being here. All right, David, we see you now.
Oh, okay. Awesome. So I was going to say that the current is real. The future is a concept. It's not actually real. There is no such thing as the future. The future doesn't exist. It's purely made up in our brain. We have to wait until the future becomes the present before it's real.
Wow. I had a feeling that some point throughout this event, you were going to drop a knowledge bomb like that. So thank you. Fantastic. Love it. All right, Coach Brittany.
Can you hear me?
We got you coming in here in just a second. Request, we'll get to you in just a second. Coach Brittany, we're ready for you.
Okay. That current and future, it's that idea of the now and the not now. And we have the two, people usually use the image of a light switch. 2 modes. You can't be in both at the same time. It's one or the other. It's why people also say if you can't see it, it also doesn't exist. So we keep things in our view so that it's in the now, because if it's not in the now, it's poofed. Yep.
I love it. Thank you for sharing that. That's perfect. And while we bring Caitlin on stage here, it happens to be it's another Ed Hollowell quote. He says that we either know now or not now.
Hi, can you hear and see me?
McManus, you are, so would love to hear from you on your thoughts here.
I was going to say exactly what Coach Brittany brought up, that it's now and not now. There is no in between, and the not now feels non-existent. So again, that permanence is huge. It's a total binary, or it feels like a total binary.
Exactly. No, I love it. Perfect. Thank you for sharing. And glad you're here, by the way. So what I was going to say is, and these are all, the best part is like, none of these are wrong. My view on this is that the difference is truly, do we know what steps we want to take to bridge the gap, hence my clip art there, to bridge the gap between where we currently are and where we're trying to go. And so to me, this is where planning, which is going to get us into accountability, is so important. And so we'll talk a little bit about this. Let me see here. So I'm going to bring all of these up to actually talk about. So why have an accountability partner? Because that is the thing that's going to help us to bridge that gap. Because it's in our DNA, literally. Humans, we evolved in tribal societies. And so because of that, we want to work with others. We were built to work with other people. You've probably heard the concept of mirror neurons. That's like when, and I guess it depends on what flavor of ADHD you have, but theoretically, when you are sitting in class with a bunch of students who are paying attention to the teacher, you feel the desire to look around, do what other people are doing, and pay attention. Or similarly, when you're in a coffee shop and a lot of people are typing away on their laptops, why is it that we feel the need to do the same? Part of that is the concept known as mirror neurons, where we want to be part of the group, believing in the norms that are kind of coming together. I've heard about, and I think I watched a video on this study that they did where it was a social science experiment. They would have people get into an elevator, and everyone except one person was people who were part of the study. So what they would do is everyone would come into the elevator and stand facing the wall. And so there was only one person who would come in, and normally you face towards the door, obviously, but everyone else would either be turned this way or, turned a different direction. And so what would end up happening, they had a hidden camera. The person who came in, who was, the subject, would end up like looking around and like couldn't help but like, oh, okay, I guess everyone else is looking at the wall. I guess I will too. Even though they didn't think it was the right thing to do, it was like, well, everyone else is doing it, so it's kind of a groupthink mentality. But you see here the stat in this beautiful white graphic here. And this is a shout out to Brian Metzger, who I know is on the call. Research shows that just the presence of another person improves human performance by 16 to 32%. That stat came from one of my favorite tools that we're going to be talking about here in a little bit, Focus Mate, which I talk about all the time. But we're also going to talk about writing down your goals and identifying them, because here's where I think not only having an accountability partner, but knowing what you're aiming at is so important. Because if you can identify goals, you are actually 6 to 8%, so not 68, but 6 to 8% more likely of achieving the goal. Because I'll ask you right now, and you can answer in the chat if you'd like, do you know what your goals are? Whether it's weekly, monthly, yearly, like, do you all have goals set? And this is a judgment-free environment, as all coaching is with me. But many of us, we're going through life reacting. So things might be stressful, but there's sacrifices we have to make. We might get out of our comfort zone. If you don't know where you're trying to go, you're going to get led towards other people's goals instead of your own. Then if we write it down, that's going to increase, again, the likelihood. These are ways to sort of ratchet up the likelihood of you doing what you're trying to do. Writing it down gets it up to 30% more likely. You want to increase it further? Make it public. So put it out on social media and say, this is what I'm going to do. And when you do it that way, it's going to increase the likelihood to 60% that you get it done. Can anyone guess how you might get it up just a little bit farther, higher likelihood, how you can get it to as high as 85% chance that you would complete your goal? Any guesses? I'm gonna take a sip while you think about it. Johnny, great thought there. Jessica, it's almost like you knew. Yep, Melissa's right. Living a reactive lifestyle leaves little energy or time for self-expression. So true. And that's funny. Body doubling. Yep. So Eric Wright is correct. That's kind of funny. But so is Jessica, having an accountability partner. So if you have an accountability partner who is bought into supporting you to get to your goals, that is the highest level. It's like the gold standard of giving you the best shot to achieve your goal. So we're going to get ready here in a little bit to do our group activity. But before we do, I want to sort of lay the groundwork and give you some of the foundational concepts leading into that. So how do we start using an accountability partner? So the first is just making those commitments. So again, kind of verbalizing, here's what it is that I want to try to accomplish, whether it's writing it down, putting it on social media. The next is time blocking. So this is I don't want to assume that everyone knows about this, but this is where you actually set aside time to work on a particular goal. That is why, as you'll see here in 10 minutes, that's why I built it into this presentation, into this event. I want you to get to experience it. Every Wednesday, I run something that many of you know about, which is the Accountability Academy, lovingly referred to as the Wednesday Workroom. A bunch of you have checked it out. If you haven't, I invite you to. It's at 3:15 p.m. Eastern every Wednesday. And I like to say it's where excuses and procrastination come to die. Dramatic pause. Because we block off that time to work on the goals. That's what we're going to do here today, too. And then going back to that bridge thought, it's like at the beginning of the day, setting your goals, and then at the end saying, okay, out of these goals that I wrote down for today, how many did I achieve? And then if I didn't achieve them, what could I do differently? And Ryan recommends, so if you like the way that this next activity is set up, I'd highly recommend you check out, and I know everybody hears me talk about this, whether it's on my live broadcast on TikTok or my clients who I work with, I'm always out there pushing this website called focusmate.com, which my parents said they were going to try to tune in today. If they are here, I got to give credit where credit's due. It was my mom who was the one who told me about FocusMate. And she sent it to me, hey, honey, I think this might be something you'd be interested in. And I said, what is it? And she said, I don't really know, but it just seems like something you'd like. And I'm like, okay, Mom. Well, I end up checking it out, and it's like the greatest thing that's ever happened to me because it allows you to actually keep on track. You get assigned to a random accountability partner somewhere around the globe who can help, who is also trying to get something done during that 50-minute block of time. So we'll cover that later, but if you have questions, because I'm going to send out some follow-ups to the event today about my recommendations, but check out focusmate.com. And let's talk about some of the traits of a good accountability partner. So this was my coach mentality, got the clipboard and everything. And they want you to be successful. So this is one of the things that I'll say to my clients, and I say all the time to friends who are talking with me about accountability is I recommend proceeding with caution is probably the best way to say it. Proceed with caution in having your significant other be your accountability partner. And the reason why I say that is there's a certain dynamic, and many of those of us with ADHD, if you have a non-ADHD partner, you probably know what I mean by this, that there is this kind of this feeling of the parent-child dynamic. A lot of times my wife, Andrea, she has to help me stay on track. And there's a lot of shame and embarrassment attached to that for me because I feel like I should be able to do it on my own. So then when she is holding me accountable, there's just a lot of challenges and emotions tied up in that. But if you have someone who's an accountability partner who is just a friend of yours, you know that they have your best interests in mind. But the challenge is, and I've run into this myself, and many of you on this call, we've seen this, is just be careful using really good friends, because the idea of having a body double session is what it means basically is to have someone sit with you to do the thing you want to do. And if you go with just your friends, a lot of times you end up just chit-chatting the whole time. And the other thing too is also having goals to work towards. So this is another thing too, if like Andrea helps me to do my schedule almost every day. And I know Avery, who's on this call, as well as Angelica and others, are helping me to kind of map out my schedule. And what I'd recommend is get someone who has something that they want to work on too. Because when you do that, you can feel that exchange of value, as opposed to when Andrea is asking me about my schedule, I just feel like irritated that she's asking me. So here we are. We're going to let's do Tim, maybe we can show off some of the features here. Pretty soon we're gonna break off into a interactive activity. But one of the things that I want to show first is, let's do maybe we'll do that in a minute. Let's do a stretch break. This is kind of cool. All right, let's do the there we go. All right, so check this out. I would love to have everyone get ready, because we are going to do a stretch break. Can everybody see this, by the way?
Let's take our arms up nice and tall, a good stretch, and when you sit down, add a little bend in the knee, yay. Reach up and breathe, and drop it down. Try that a couple times. Release any tension you have in your body.
Thank you.
And drop it down. Last time, breathe it up.
You're right, Brittany. We'll do that next.
And exhale. Let's do
Can you cue up the song from Trolls? It's called Hair Up.
Try that a couple of times. Get your neck nice and loose. Hold it over to one side. Take that hand and forward. Drop it through the middle and over to the other side. Grab that head. Breathe it up and stretch. Don't forget to hashtag challenge accepted in the comment thread.
All right, you're right. You're right, Brittany. I did promise dancing. So now that we're at the halfway mark of this, I say we get a little dancing going. Oh, this video cannot be played outside of YouTube. Well, hold on. I did not, believe it or not, I did not plan ahead of time for this. So Tim is doing a great job figuring it out. While we are waiting, though, I just want to ask. Oh, okay. Maybe we can. I will not ask that question. I think we might have it. All right. So McManus, this one's going out to you, because I agree that Trolls soundtrack definitely slaps. I think that's what the kids say. Let's see if we can do this. If we could we play it by uploader? Oh, yeah, maybe.
You know what? Yeah, you know what? We can do this instead.
There we go. Yeah, we're Standard stuff. You know that it's going to be good when you got to bring a sweat rag to your webinar, to my learning party. That's what I call learning party. Just kidding. Okay. Oh, well, how did I do that? Courtney, Brittany, this is how I did that. Tim, you got to have the right accountability partners. You think any of this would have been possible without him? No. He told me about this platform. He taught me how to dance. He did all of this. I just showed up and started talking. So you just have to surround yourself with the people who make you better. Wow, like our picture looks way better now for some reason.
Yeah, when it shares the screen, it takes the quality from your camera.
Got it. Okay. All right, cool. Well, yeah, exactly. Coach Brittany says ADHD webinar. Yeah, this is hilarious. Okay, cool. I can't wait to read some of these comments later on. All right, so can we reshare?
Yes.
And then I can discuss what we're going to do. Hopefully some of you had a chance to take a little break there. And maybe one more thing we can do is, can we do like before we do that, just in case someone hasn't had a chance, if we do like music intro, will that won't stop it, will it? Like, because I want, you know what, I'm literally going to do a bathroom break like in the middle of this. So I want everyone to be able to have a bio break because 2 hours is a long time. So we're going to do like a 5-minute count. 5-minute countdown. Tim's going to hook this up, but I want to give everybody, I'll give you 5 minutes. Everyone can, if you need to grab a snack, Brittany, you probably want to go get ice cream or something. You typically do. Go hit the bathroom. I'm going to go powder my nose because, I mean, literally I should because I'm like looking so shiny, but that's okay. Nice. David, I know you appreciate this, David.
You.
you unmuted it and
Yep.
everything. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Can somebody give me a thumbs up or something if you are here? I just want to make sure everyone can see me and hear me. Booyah. Okay. Christy, I'll take the holla as you can hear me. Okay. Laura says yes. Okay. Loud and clear. Cool. Sweet. Good. By the way, it is so fun for me to see the names that I'm seeing. I mean, we got 42 people here. All of you are investing your time. It means the world to me because you know this is a labor of love for me. And I'm doing this because I want to add value for you. So this is just so exciting that we're all here. And even the one and only ADHD Mr. Brian Ronan is here too. I'm just seeing you. Great to see you, my friend. All right, cool. So let's see if we are back. Are we back to sharing?
1 second.
All right, cool. James, glad you're here. James, I had a feeling that you probably did some pretty sick dance moves during that thing. I don't know why. Your energy level from our conversation, I feel like you probably were busting a good move. Denise, I'm glad you're here too. Okay. So you'll notice on this slide, it says interactive activity. Oh, James says he's the definition of awkward dance. That's perfect. That's great. So here, the idea behind this whole thing is how could accountability help you? So in last session, Ryan explained to everyone he uses it for everything from going to sleep, drinking water, and stopping his workday. In this episode, the crowd chimes in with how they could use accountability. So that's what we'll be doing is I want all of you to think about what is something that you know you should or would benefit from doing, but maybe you're not doing as much of as you would like. And this platform, I'm so glad Tim told me about it. It's called Run the World, as you have probably noticed. Maybe see if you can get, there we go. I'm less crooked now. For the small group activity, we're gonna actually break off into some small groups. Tim told me today when we got together, in future events, we'll be able to have more control over this. I know several of you who are on who said you'd be willing to be moderators in the various groups. We're going to see if we can do that, but there's 41 of us. I'm going to see if I can split it up into, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 groups. And just, I want there to be enough where there's some good conversation, but not so big that it's hard for you to get a word in. So as Tim is starting to cue that up, I just want to tell you how this is going to work. It's very much like Focus Mate or Pomodoro method, if you've heard of these before. So I want you to spend the first 5 minutes going around just talking about we have to keep it not very ADHD, just very to the point. What are you going to work on during this focused period? And then we're going to set a timer for 25 minutes and we're going to work on that. So again, 5 minutes of like intros, like, hi, my name is Brian Ronan, and I am going to work on something about Dungeons and Dragons, for example, just hypothetically. And then each person, you go on mute, and then for 25 minutes, we do our thing. We co-work together. So now let's see. Yeah, okay, cool. Let's keep it here.
You said 25.
Let's do 30 so that it's.
Oh, it looks like it's.
Oh, it only goes to 10.
Yeah.
That's fine. Yeah. What's the thing? What are you going to work on during this time? Oh man, why did I do that? There we go. Just say mix it up. We'll just make it easier.
Yeah, sounds good.
But hold on, you want to still do six groups, right? Because then it'll equally divide it.
No, it actually only does. So it's going to be. It's just going to make 2 different groups of like 20 people.
Right, but I want to have
10 minutes each.
But I want to have more groups instead of 2.
I don't know.
We'll see what happens if you just make it like, let's call it 5. But make it as long as it possibly goes for chat length. All right, that's fine.
It's 5 different 10-minute chats.
Oh,
One after another with a different group in each one.
got it. Okay. Number. Okay, so that's like number of rounds.
Yeah.
Number of rounds. Yeah. Okay. We're working through the technical challenges. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Okay, got it. So we would want, 3 groups of 10 minutes. That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Getting the slides back up and ready to rock and roll. And can we get the comments up again, Tim? Like along the sides, I just like to see that. There we go.
I don't know if it's these ones.
Yeah, how do we?
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
Is it possible to make that smaller or no? Because I can't see myself. Not that it matters, but just before it was like along the side. Whatever. We'll go with it. As long as you turn off my echoing sound, because that will definitely drive me insane. All my fellow ADHDers can relate. All right, there's still 30 of us here. Quick recap for everyone. And can I just see some comments? I just want to make sure everyone can hear me. We're back onto the slide. That was like the theme of 2020, right? Can you hear me? Everyone see my screen? There we go. Now I can see the comments. Good to go. Thank you, Denise Martin. So, all right, thank you. And Mosley is here. Look at that. CEO Paul Mosley. So we're doing a quick recap of everything that we've touched on during this. So we talked about how I used accountability. We got some ideas around how you can use accountability in your life. And you see that I've got a picture of the tools up there because I want to talk about what tools are possible for you to use. I was reading through some of the comments during our break time, and people were asking to get more information about Focus Mate. So if you're trying to remember what it's called, I always just think of someone who's Australian. You could say, like, it's time to focus, mate. Focusmate.com. Focusmate.com. And when you go there, you get assigned, you can actually, for no cost whatsoever, you can have 3 sessions per week where you can get matched up with an accountability partner somewhere around the globe. Or you can sign up for their Turbo package, which I have. It's $5 a month, and you can have unlimited sessions. So for those of you who do have ADHD like I do, I'd strongly recommend doing that Turbo package, because having open blocks of time that are unaccounted for is sort of the kiss of death for us, because if we don't have something planned, it's probably we're not going to be very productive. Those are the times where we end up, like I did earlier this week, falling down the YouTube rabbit hole. I had told one of my clients that the ability for the ADHD brain to focus is like a laser. And so I said, it kind of reminds me of Cyclops, the X-Men character. So I went down this really deep YouTube hole of hearing or looking at the origin stories of Cyclops. And it was like, this is not what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get ready for the webinar. So Focus Mate is what you can do to kind of avoid those situations. And then we also talked about the benefits of writing it down and all of the science and the statistics behind why that's important and how much your results can increase when you do that. And I want to give a shout out also to my brother, not my blood brother Eric, but my brother in Christ. Lots of them are out there, but particularly Brian Metzger, who provided me with some of those statistics, as well as Mike Zick, who is not able to be on the call today. So a couple of things I want to do. I really want to stay focused on keeping this at the 2 hours, because that's one thing we struggle with. I will hang around for a little while afterward to answer questions. But I just wanted to hear from all of you to know what you thought of the event. So again, right now we're going to enable that grab the mic feature. So you should have a place somewhere on your desktop or even in the app where you can say grab the mic. I would just love to know your feedback and honestly what you took away, what you saw as the value from the event, because that's really going to be important for us. Right now, I don't see any mic requests, so feel free to hop in. And then the benefit of you staying around, just as an FYI, let's go with Denise. The benefit of staying around is we are going to have a raffle here at the end as well.
Great job. This was really fun.
I think you may have to. There we go. Now we can. Hey.
Hi. Great job. It's a lot of fun.
Thank you so much. And I want to give a shout out to you, Denise, as well. There's so many people who contributed. Denise is another one of those members of the ADHD family. I just met her earlier this week. We connected. It was like we were BFFs. And yeah. she was the one that created the really stellar looking agenda that I sent out right before the event. So I'm going to be talking more about her in just a few minutes, but just wanted to say thanks again, Denise, for your help on
Thanks.
that.
I love meeting everybody. It was nice to meet you guys.
So what was your takeaway besides meeting more people, Denise?
So I like what you said about accountability altogether, about how it's really good to have systems in place and tools in our back pocket to pull out when we need them, because we have to have those ready to go any moment. So I like that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I want to give Dorsey a chance to share hers, but thanks for grabbing the mic and stepping up.
You're welcome. Talk to you later, guys.
Coming your way, Dorsey. I think maybe you accept it and then it comes over to you. Okay, Dorsey said, there we go. We're trying this again, Dorsey. Thanks for bearing with us, everybody. Dorsey should be popping in here momentarily.
Looks like she dropped in.
Okay, Dorsey, you missed your shot. Anyone else who is on here? I know Courtney and David are free, so we'll have let's give Courtney a shot.
I'm a little dark. There's a bit of a delay, isn't there?
Coach Courtney, since we're getting close to the finish, would love to have you also just mention what you were thinking about offering for the raffle, because we're getting ready to draw that here in a few minutes.
Okay. You can hear me, right?
Yep, we can hear you.
So I almost 100% of the time, because I do the Wednesday work accountability workroom thing with you every week. And almost 100% of the time when we do these, I don't think ahead of time of what I need to do. Just a total blessing, because I'm like, oh, surprise, you get 30 minutes to do that thing that you've been avoiding. I go, yes. Yep. So today it was the videos, the TikTok videos that I've been avoiding.
Yeah.
And good, I finally have time for that. And yeah, and part of the raffle is I'm giving away 3 free coaching sessions with me, 1-hour sessions. And then also anyone who from this seminar, if any of you are interested in coaching with me, I'm doing 50% off for your first 3 months. And that's anyone in this seminar right now. And all you have to do is email me. I'll put my email in the chat. It'll be CourtneyCarini@gmail.com. It's my same. If you know me from TikTok, it's my same username.
Amazing. Thank you. We're going to jump over to David, but Courtney, thanks again for being here. Thank you for your generosity and your time, all your help, and you're being willing to give some of your coaching. That's so cool and life-giving. All right, let's give it over to David. And also, if anyone else wants to grab the mic, we're going to finish up with the raffle, but just want to give everyone else a chance to check in too.
I think I'm on.
We can hear you. Whoa, David, look at this. You guys got writing on his screen. Okay. Tell us more about this writing, David.
Well, I'm a big fan of it. It's called Prezi Video. Lets you put the PowerPoint slides and graphics and whatnot on the screen, so you can keep the screen big and keep yourself big and interact with stuff. You can get there, get busy pointing at stuff like motor by Ferrari, steering by Yugo, brakes by Schwinn, and filter by. I don't have a filter.
Tim, make a note. We need to get this tool. Okay, keep going, David.
Well, I thought it was great reading and watching the chat. I watch you on TikTok and you say things that resonate, but here's what 28 other people saying stuff, and that's my life. That's my I do that too, and that too. So pretty fantastic seeing a whole bunch of people that have the same stuff that drives my wife bananas.
Absolutely. Well, thanks again for being here. It was really great to have you.
Great being here. Thank you.
All right, cool.
I will drop the mic.
Okay. Mic drop. Sounds good. Can we go back over to the PowerPoint just for a sec?
Yep.
Coach DJ Granberry, are you in the house right now? I don't know if he is or not. So anyway, a couple of things. Oh, he does want to. Okay, he is here. He is in the house. While he's grabbing the mic,
can you guys hear me?
Let me see. We see you, Coach, but before you get there, I just want to put something up on the screen. Okay, here it is. Now you may go. I wanted to quote one of my other brothers from the TMP morning group because he always brings the fire. So I was just really excited that he was able to make it here today.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Sure can.
All right. First, thank you. Thank you very, very much for having me up. I really appreciate it. It is amazing to see you doing your thing and to see the kind of interactions that you're having today. The session that we just had, I think somebody put in the comments, 10 minutes just wasn't enough. It was like it wanted more time, and to be able to meet people and to meet new people here that the last person just mentioned, it was like meeting people that you've known forever. And it would be nice. And again, it's something that's in the comments because I think we're all very like-minded. It would be nice to just have a huge meet and greet chat, like if there's anything I would think that you could add to this is just like a social hour where everybody just gets to meet and exchange information, or just let everyone know that we're all in the same boat, thinking the same things, and you've given some great tools to help us really work with ADHD. And if you don't have ADHD, just great tools to be more productive. And like you just said, to grow. So let's grow. Thank you very much. Appreciate it, brother.
Yeah, you're welcome, DJ. Thanks for being here. And like I said on here, and Tim, if you want to, and I don't know if DJ has to drop the mic. He's been known to do that, to have a mic drop moment.
I take it.
But yeah, teamwork does make the dream work, and I realize we're here at time. But I wanted to let you know that we did have a couple of people who did win the raffle when I was off, like during that time where we were in between the different groups. I had the chance to pull a couple of people's names. So I just wanted to congratulate. We had Avery. You were one of our winners. So you now won the time with Coach Courtney. So you'll have a chance to chat with her. We also have Denise. Denise, where are you at? I think Denise was on there. And then Christy Camus. Denise with one S. Denise Martin. So Denise Martin, you won one of the Amazon gift cards. Congratulations. And then we also had, so I know Angelica had thrown in this sticker pack. So I'm excited to send this to, this goes out to Matt Myers, who logged on. And the last one, here we go. So 1 hour free coaching. That one was, can you scroll down? I had it written. That's okay. This is what happens when I get font that's way too big. All right, cool. Yeah, there we go. So Emma Pierce, are you still here? Emma Pierce, you got the free session with me as well. So I'm excited for that. So we'll connect. I have everybody's contact information, but I'll reach out and get everybody else, get their information. So yeah, that is all for today's event. I'll finish our chat today like I do on all of my TikTok lives, which is with what I call the Ryan Reminders. So the Ryan Reminders are, I want to let you all know that you are amazing and you're capable of so much. And I don't want you to let the labels that have been given to you by this society that we're in to slow you down from believing in yourself. Because there's so many of us who we're riding that roller coaster, and we have to realize the things that are in our control and the things that are not. So realize for yourself that if you can surround yourself with good people like you've seen here today, that you can accomplish things regardless of what your brain wiring is. Because ADHD, it is a part of us, but it does not define who we are. It is part of who we are. It is not who we are. So I want to let you know again, I believe in you and I love all of you. And everyone should hear that someone loves them once a day. So you've heard it here from me that I love you very much. We're going to send out some information about the upcoming events, and I would love to get your feedback about what we did well and what we could do better. But specifically, I would ask that you can mark your calendars. We're going to do these webinars once a month. So next month is going to be talking about ADHD in relationships. And it's going to be on Friday, July 30th from 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern. So we're doing one on a weekday because people have asked for some different times. So Friday, July 30th, 3 to 5 p.m., ADHD in relationships. And we're hoping there's going to be a couple of guests on, but no word on that yet. So again, thanks so much for being here. I appreciate your time. I am going to hang around a little bit to answer some questions. So if anybody has additional questions about ADHD coaching or anything that I can try to help, I think we'll probably stop the stream, but I will stay on for another 10, 15 minutes or however long you'd want to chat, just to connect in that way per what DJ was talking about. One last thing, I just want to say thanks for the feedback about those breakout groups. It actually didn't work quite the way we thought. So it's going to be better next time, where you're going to have more time to work on the things you want to work on. It wasn't supposed to be that short. So thanks for bearing with us. And I hope that you saw that even though things aren't perfect, they were authentically me and they were authentically us, because just because it's perfect, done is better than perfect. So today we showed up and we got it done. So thanks again for believing in me and holding me accountable. See you next time.